You come right out of a comic book.
Alright everyone, it's my first video review of Luke Cage. Get right into it. I want to say on an ABC scale to B+, at times A-. Although at its best it definitely touches an A+. I'll get into the reasons why it's not perfect, and I'll get into reasons why it's good as this video progresses. To start with, I want to talk about the ladies. Simone Missick as Misty Knight, fantastic. Goes through the show, does her thing. Admittedly, I've not seen her in much, if anything. That said, I want to see her in more things. Not just because she's a beautiful woman, she's an amazing actress. Her interplay with Rosario Dawson, who I'll get to in a moment, Mike Coulter, and other characters is great. Her exposition is not in your face, although it's enough. She carries it well enough that you believe she's from Harlem. Alfre Woodard, veteran actress, you know she's it. She's like Kevin Garnett in his prime. Comes in, you know what you're getting. She was fantastic as Mariah. Her turn towards the end of the season, I'll get into later, don't worry about spoilers now. I'll give you guys a fair warning. Her turn towards the end of the season was good, was believable, although drastic, was believable. And it was just partly because of the great writing, mostly Mrs. Woodard being an amazing actress that she's been for, 30, 40 years. And of course, Rosario Dawson, another veteran in the game. As night nurse, she killed it. She killed it in the series. And she didn't just kill it, she was given more time in this series than she was in everything else combined. That includes Daredevil seasons 1 and 2, plus Jessica Jones. To rank this show among all the Netflix Marvel shows, disclaimer, I have not watched a single episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Soon. Same for Agent Jones, the Agent one. I haven't watched that either, obviously. As for the Netflix ones, the ranking is I'll put Daredevil Season 2, Luke Cage, Daredevil Season 1, and then Jessica Jones. Some people are divided on Jessica Jones. I think it's okay, but that's not what this video is about. Back to the performances. For the men, Mike Coulter, you saw him in Jessica Jones. You knew he was going to be good. He didn't disappoint. He came through. He was vulnerable when he needed to be. He was strong when he needed to be. But he struck a good balance. The sign of a great actor to me or a great performance to me, is that I cannot think of anyone else in the role. Mike Coulter did this, and Mahershala Ali did this in spades. He was amazing. I try not to be hyperbolic, but he was amazing. That's Cottonmouth. The first scene you see him, he's sitting at a desk, and you know he's a force to be reckoned with. So, just if you saw him in House of Cards, you know what I'm talking about. He knows how to convey so much with just his body language. Other male performances, Shades, I don't care about his name, he's just Shades, whatever. He is not. It's a combination of his acting, which is mediocre, and the writing, frankly, didn't give him much to do, so even if he was a better actor, I don't think he could have done much better. Although towards the end of the season, he starts to come around. Maybe if the season was longer, which I don't advocate, if the season was longer, he might have grown on me more, because in the beginning I was just thinking, who the hell, okay, whatever. Later on in his run, I started, alright, he's starting to grow on me a little bit. One person that did not grow on me a little bit, and at all, to the point that he is one of the major negatives of the show, is the white cop. I don't care about his name either. And his problem was not writing. He's just not a good actor. The first 1 or 2 episodes, I'm thinking, man, maybe this dude is not maybe this dude is not well written. And I kept watching and I realized, son, it's not good. He's not a good actor. They could have put me in this role, put me in whiteface, and I would have been better than this dude, who's the white cop. He was trash. Since we're talking about negatives with the show, my other main problem was, I had two other issues with the show. One, a major issue was the fight scenes. Again, disclaimer, I may have been spoiled by Daredevil season 1 and 2 plus the Raid movies. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. The fight scenes were not good. At first they were boring, then they just became borderline unwatchable. My other problem with the show, and this is going to be a good introduction to what this channel is going to be about, is that the show tried to touch on a lot of topical subjects: inner city violence, police brutality, gentrification, corrupt politicians, and then it would only go halfway. So it would go, oh, there's a black man that's immune to being immune to bullets, and then it wouldn't really discuss it. Oh man, people in Harlem are killing each other, and then it would just fizzle out. Oh, police brutality, it would just fizzle out. It was just, at one point, a character goes on a 30-second rant about gentrification, and then she stops. She just stops, and then they move on. It just, if the show wanted to be escapist, it should have been escapist. If it wanted to go into the topics, it should have picked one or two and gone all the way in. It didn't do that, and it didn't bother me much. It definitely stuck out of my mind. Now, those are my criticisms. Other good things about the show. I was born in New York, although I grew up in Nigeria. Still, I go back a few times a year. So Harlem in that show was the Harlem I've been to, the Harlem I go to, the Harlem I read about. It is Harlem. It is. I don't know if I can't pronounce his first name. Mr. Coker lives in New York. I would bet he has, because it is Harlem. It is New York. Again, music plays a big part in that. Adrian Young and one of the members of the Roots composed the score and the soundtrack for the show, and they did it perfectly, to the point that one or two songs, including a cameo from a famous rapper, they fit perfectly into this. They literally fit perfectly into the scenes. They were built for the scene. They were composed for the scene. They were written for the scene. And on Adrian Young, go check out his album with Ghostface, and also Black Dynamite. I might do a review on Black Dynamite later. He also composed that. He's a great musician, composer, whatever he is. He's great at it. Those are the positives. Those are the main positives, and they are huge. They built the atmosphere, as well as other subtle things. For example, my culture, Luke Cage, is reading different books occasionally in the series, and you see, if you pay attention, you notice not only are they black authors, which I noticed at the first time I watched it. Later on, I noticed the second time I went through, I noticed, oh, not only are they black authors, they are, the books of the main characters in the books actually reflect what Luke is going through at that point, or what he's about to go through. Oh, I wasn't smart enough to catch that the first time. Other subtle things are the episodes of the show are named after Gangstar songs, and there are little subtle hints, mostly at Wu-tang and Gangstar. There's a few other things. There's a few Rakim references. Rakim references in there, so it's cool. Still on the music. The first episode, you see Raphael Sadiq singing Cottonmouth's Club, and it's between that and seeing Cottonmouth, you go, all right, I know where the show is going. I know what I'm into. It's just, and also Raphael Sadiq is one of my favorite singers. Shout out to Raphael Sadiq. Also, there are a few other cameos. Sharon Jones is in there, another great singer. Jidania, shout out Nigerian. I know what you said about, you know what you said. He's also in there. He's great. A few other singers, they come in. Charles Bradley's another one. Get well soon. I just found out you had cancer. Get well soon. Little things like that. You see them and it builds the atmosphere of the show. So that's why I give it an A-, B+. Told you my criticisms, told you the positives. And before I close, let me get to the spoilers. Spoilers. I'll see you next video if you don't want to see spoilers. Now, spoilers. There are a few subtle things, and Diamondback, whose name I've forgotten, he was good in the show. I didn't want to bring him up in the other part because he's a big reveal. If you're watching this, he's a big reveal. And he's a good villain. To be honest, the writing for him wasn't great, except he's so charismatic, he's so engaging, he still draws you in. He still draws you into the show, which I don't necessarily think that he's the only person that could have played it. He still played it very, very well, which leads into the suit and my main issue with the fight scenes. The big battle between him and Luke comes in the last episode and a half, and you see them about to fight, and he's wearing this Justin Hammer suit. That's another spoiler / Easter egg. You see him wearing a Justin Hammer suit that harkens back to his comic persona. It's great. It's just, you see it like, oh, this is cool. Let's see where they take this. And then they start fighting, and oh god, that fight was long. It was rough, and not in a good way. I get what they're trying to do, because if you watch that fight scene and pause at every frame, it genuinely looks like a comic book panel. It was intentional. It is intelligent. It was bad. It didn't look good. It lasted too long. It just sort of ended. It was hard to watch. Other Easter eggs included Luke Cage's original costume when he escapes from the prison. It's subtle, although not too subtle. So it lets you in on the joke. So it's cheesy. He's like, all right, I get this. It makes you smile, and all right, I know where this is going. And another Easter egg was at the very end, was Simone Mystic, Misty May, wearing the costume. The red skin tight costume. Right here, you can see that it's right here. The red skin tight costume, and she had the afro. And she did that, and I'm like, oh, I want to see more of this. Between her and Diamondback not dying, like, oh, I want to see more of this. This is. I don't know if it's the Defenders or Iron Fist or season 2. It's like, I want to see more of either, or preferably both of them. This is sensational. And last thing, biggest spoiler. So if you do not want to hear spoilers, eject now. It's your last chance. Cottonmouth dies in about 2/3 of the way through the season. He gets killed by, even I was surprised, and I usually catch those things. He gets murked. He gets murked by his cousin, Alfred Woodard, Black Mariah. It makes sense. Every interaction between them leading up to this point, it makes sense. And she begins her evolution into her comic character, Black Mariah. She doesn't quite get there, which is good, because it leaves her room to grow in future seasons. So she starts to become this corrupt entity. And to close, I've heard people say that Shades is not a bad character. I'll put it this way. I said he doesn't seem particularly brilliant, or physically intimidating, or charismatic. To be a good villain, you need one of those three things. He had none. And people say, well, he's just well, you don't have to be big, you don't have to be smart. I said, yes, you're right. Domingo, another important character in the same show, he was a small dude. He was a little dude, maybe 5'5". And same thing as Cottonmouth. The first time you see him, this dude is a force to be reckoned with, just by looking at his demeanor and body language. Shades did not have that. The White Cop definitely didn't have that. Spoiler, he becomes evil. I hate his guts. Whatever. Towards the end of the season, you start to see some signs of life. Maybe the writing gets better. Maybe they film those scenes later. He starts to get it. Either way, he's much better in the last 2 episodes than the beginning. And it sets up him and Mariah. Domingo's dead. Cottonmouth is dead. Diamondback is out of commission. And it sets up a future where they're the only 2 forces left in Harlem. And it was very, even with all my problems with Shades, it still flows through very well. So that's my review of Luke Cage. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can see my introduction video before or after this. Subscribe if you like it. If not, I'll shed a tear. Peace.